Hi everyone, welcome back to the channel. Today's video is just about some life lessons that I've learned over the past years during my own self-growth and self-healing journey. I want to say I've been on mine for about 2.5 years now, and I just want to share with you some of the things that I learned and realized that can maybe give you a different perspective for anything that you're struggling with on your journey as well. So the number one, the biggest thing that I learned is that life is what you make of it. So depending on your outlook on life, it's going to be how you feel inward. So if you think negative, you're going to feel negative. And that's something I struggled with years ago, is constantly thinking negative, dealing with anxiety, dealing with my thoughts. And I've later come to realize that a lot of these things stemmed from just thoughts, not facts. So it's really important to start getting control over your mind and filtering out thoughts and facts. And what I mean by this is it's easy to let our mind and our thoughts roam free, but if we don't grasp control of that and really have a filter as we're funneling these thoughts through our mind, it's easy to let these things get to us when they are not necessarily the truth, or even just serving you a purpose. So one thing I like to do is when a thought comes across my mind, I ask myself, is this a thought or is it a fact? Is it good for me? Is it going to help me in any type of way? And if it isn't, then I immediately distinguish that thought. I let it go. I don't entertain it. I don't allow myself to dwell on it, believing it to be true. And once you start getting control over your mind, things will roll out easier for you. Another thing I realized is that you have to have structure and discipline in your life. Without these things, it's going to be very hard for you to achieve whatever it is that you want to achieve, or whatever you're aiming for, whatever it may be. You have to have structure, you have to have discipline, you have to have a routine, you have to have a schedule, you have to be intentional with the things that you want in life. That's the only way you're going to see the progress that you're longing to see. And if you are someone like me who has always felt like they were meant for greater, who always aspired to have goals and certain things and a certain type of lifestyle, yes, we can dream about that in our head and always just look at the end goal and keep that concept in our mind, or we can allow it to play out in reality. And what you have to do in order to get to where you want to be is just be intentional with your day-to-day life and make sure that you're making the right choices and decisions when getting to where you want to be. You have to have a clear goal. You have to have a plan on how you're going to get there, and you have to work through the plan. You actually have to go through with the things that you are telling yourself and keeping your word and your promises to yourself. That's the only way you're going to see progress within anything in life. So if you want to be a YouTuber, you have to put out content. You have to be intentional. You have to create a schedule. You have to treat it as if it's another job to you, because we're often doing so many things that we don't want to do and not making time for the things that we actually want to do. And I know it's hard, especially when you're working a job, when you come home and you use that time for relaxation and rejuvenation and just recouping. You're tired, you're exhausted. Trust me, I understand. But if you want to break past this lifestyle that you're currently living and transition into a life that you actually want for yourself, you have to put in that time. Sacrifice. Another thing I had to learn was to sacrifice certain things and letting go. This journey is not going to be easy. It's not always going to work out in your favor. There's some things that you're going to have to be willing to give up in order to get to where you want to be. There's going to be things that no longer serve you, and you're going to have to take on new challenges to readapt to this lifestyle that you're trying to achieve. Because the person The person you are today is not going to get you to where you want to be in the future. But as long as you're working on the things within yourself to start shaping and molding your higher self, your current being into your higher self, that is the person, that is the progress that's going to get you from point A to point B of where you're trying to go within your journey. We're here currently. This is where we're at. This is where we're trying to be. There's so much of the unknown in between us now and our future self that we can keep just leaving it up to the future. Oh, it's gonna happen someday. I'm gonna get there someday. I'm gonna have that car someday. I'm gonna buy that house. I'm gonna save this money, whatever. But if you are not actively putting aside money each paycheck, if you are not making 2 videos a week, if you are not doing these necessary things and having this repetition within your goal or wherever you're trying to go within life, you're always going to be at this current state. Sorry, I just threw my cat's toy. That's what that was. But you have to understand, it takes work, it takes sacrifice, it takes a perception change, a mindset shift, you getting control of yourself to get to where you want to be. In no way is this journey easy. It's going to be challenging. It's going to have its moments. It's going to test you, but it's all about resilience and persistence. If you are able to work and overcome these things, then you are going to bear the fruits of your labor someday, but you need to have this general idea of what it takes to get you to where you want to be. Because if you're not putting in any work, any action, and just assuming that it's going to come someday, that time is going to pass and you're going to realize you're in the same position. You're not doing the things that you want to do. You're not living the lifestyle that you had dreamt for yourself because you're not taking that action. And that was a hard reality for me to face because I realized I grew up very spoiled and I will say privileged. And it's not, I've always had like little goals for myself, but essentially I was always comfortable. And when I moved out to Vegas and stood on my own for about 2 years, it's really allowed for this growth within myself. And sometimes you need to get out of your environment, you need to get out of your routine to feel or see something different, see a different perspective. And that's what worked out for me. It doesn't need to be as drastic as a move, just a simple realization that you need to do better. You have to go harder. You have to be intentional with what it is that you want. Another thing I would like to say is having God in my life. Without him, I was nothing. And it's true. It's true. Before God, I was lost, I was confused, I was depressed, I was anxious, I was all things negative. Once I found him and really started implementing him into my life and started practicing prayer, practicing actively believing that he is the higher power and putting all of my faith into him, my life also got better. I will say it made a huge change in my life, and I'm speaking for myself, and I know there's others out there too that can share that same story, that before their life was a mess, after having him in their life gradually got better. And it's the same for me, and I'm not one to push anything onto anyone. All I do is simply share what I have learned and just allow people. Shoot, I think I'm losing. I have 4 minutes. I gotta clear up some storage, but don't mind that. Putting God first in your life is going to change your life for the better. It's also allowed me to not be so anxious. It's allowed me to truly put my faith and trust into something that I know is going to give me a great return, and not only just seeking the outcome of having him in my life. I've seen how much I've changed within myself as a woman, following his morals, following his word, and it's allowed me to grow a lot more confident in myself. And for me, there's just certain things I don't like to do anymore, but everybody's different. Just to sum it all up, putting God first is really what is going to set everything off. When I started journaling, that is the person that I write to, I talk to, I pray to, I leave everything up to, and just trust that he's going to take care of me. He's going to handle everything. I don't have to worry about a thing, and that's what I believe. And I don't find myself being as stressed, depressed, or anxious anymore. And just practicing everything that I have shared in this video, if you were to take something away and implement it into your everyday life from the content that I make, I'm sure you will see a difference in your life as well. Again, I don't want to push anything onto you. My way is my way, but if I can share some insight and some advice and a perspective, because my channel has already gotten so much positive feedback, I know that it's for a greater good, and I've always felt that this is what I wanted my YouTube channel to be about, was just uplifting people and having them believe in themselves like I've always believed in myself, but wasn't really practicing these habits myself. But until I started but but until I started practicing these things, I saw a change in my life. So I finally figured out that I went through it, I can share it, I created a channel about it, and this channel is flourishing, it's growing. I couldn't be happier, and I thank you all so much for your positive feedback, your comments, your likes, your subscriptions, everything. Thank you so much, and I just want to share my journey with you. That is all for this video. I hope you guys enjoyed it. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up, and if you like my channel, don't forget to subscribe for more. Bye guys. Mwah.